things in order. We live, boys. Come say hi.
Hi.
Wish us luck on a better connection today.
Better connection for you. Wish I do.
Okay. Randoms, let's see. What you got to say, bruh? Okay, that's nothing personal then. It's fine. Live streaming now. I'll check it out later. Okay, so anyway, regardless of how the connection happened, however we DC drop frames, whatever if it drops out, I'm gonna keep doing 2 hours of working on the game. Hopefully it live streams it. I am recording it locally as well, so it's fine. Dynamic Dudes, you are early. How are you doing? Well, I just started live streaming, so that would explain something. I'm going to just jump right into this, and today we're going to be using Anfly's Map Enemy Levels plugin and messing around with it and learning it so that I can do the tutorial on it later on. Hey, Kip Icon, excited to work on my MV project alongside you today. Awesome. I'm glad you're working on your project. That's cool. I typically do the same thing. If I'm working on my project when I'm not live streaming, I like to have somebody live streaming next to me or watching a video of someone's live stream, because for some weird reason I find it inspiring even if they're not doing anything that great, because it's just like, I do that when I play games too. Do you do that? Do you watch a video while you play games? I'm talking to T. I'm joined with T, by the way.
Hi.
She's like looking at some JSON file, and it looks like a big mess over here.
I'm playing with Tile D. It's lots of fun.
Oh, you mean ancient hieroglyphics?
It is a wonderful program. It's beautiful. Everybody should know Tile D. Everybody. I don't watch videos when I play games.
Ah.
Because my brain is small.
Alright, let's get started. I'm going to be using this enemy level base variable note tag. I looked over this plugin a little bit, but I haven't actually messed with it. I put it in the game, and of course I have the enemy levels requirement to have it in. And what I'm going to be using is a variable, and then we're going to multiply that variable by a set number, probably 5 or 4 or 3, and then the enemy's level will be that times whatever we decide. So when you go to the arena to fight a battle, maybe we'll increment. I don't know. I'm gonna make a system. So let's make this system. It'll come to me as we do it. So I'm gonna use this enemy level base variable on the map note tag. So let's go to the map of the system I've got here. It's an igloo here now. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up, and in this note tag I'm gonna put this. And right now it says X, so that won't do anything. We're gonna have to find a variable. So let's create an event here and just look at which variable we want to use. I think what we can use is variable number 40. So this will be enemy level modifier. So we're going to be using variable 40. So we can hit OK, but we're going to delete this, and actually we'll delete this entire event. We don't need the event. We just needed to assign to pick a variable. So let's go back to the arena igloo, and in here we'll change X to say 40. So now it's going to change the enemy level when we get into a battle on this map to whatever value is stored in variable 40. Dynamic Dudes, pretty great actually. My friend is buying you a $1,000 music studio on Thursday. Really excited about me and his girlfriend are surprising my other friend with his dream shoes, then I get to go to a party. That sounds cool, dude. Sorry if that response was late and it was a lot to type. Nah, don't worry about it. That sounds pretty awesome. What DAW are you getting? Are you getting like some software? Or are you getting like microphones and monitors and stuff like that? Or a combination? Anyway, I'm going to keep going. So we've assigned variable 40 to be the variable for all of the enemies in here. Right now it would be 0, which I think it would just ignore it if it's 0. But yeah, I don't think you need to overwrite the enemies in the note tags. So what we can do is inside the event that starts the battle, we'll just check those variables and maybe prompt the player with an option. So we're calling a common event here for the arena main, and that calls the common event. So let's go, it's handled under a common event. Arena main, well, we have 2 of them. So it's, okay. Are we calling, okay, I think we changed it to this one. Yes, because Hemi works doesn't work. So this is old. Arena main old, and this is the new one. Let me make sure that this is calling the correct one, which I think it is 71 here. 71. Okay, good. Shabeto, how are you doing? Microphones, monitors, engineer already has the software. She also makes music, and it's very even part of a label, so she's helping me start. That's cool. Hey Vino, what's up, dude? It's a shame how much more musical production costs compared to graphic production. Good music needs so much good equipment. That's true. They both cost, but getting your sound and audio right is so important and complicated. Audio engineering is really, really hard thing to get right, to get perfect. Even setting up like recording videos, you're going to spend most of your time fidgeting with your settings and your microphones and your volumes and your gains and all your EQs and whatever setup you have. You're going to get it just right. It's hard sometimes to get the sounding in one ear and then sound in another ear for all the slurping, the surround sound slurping to be just right. It's important. Alright, so if they've captured at least one, it will show the choices. And if, and then at the end it will hide the choices. Yeah, so it's hiding them if you haven't captured at least one. But then over here, it will just show them afterwards because it's just setting the choices for here on out, right? So as we add more creatures, we'll have to add more of the plugin commands as well. But right now, we're not adding creatures. We're just setting up a system so that when we do, if we select regular monsters, we're presented here, and then we're shown choices. So what we'll have to do is check the variables again, and then change the level based on that variable. So how would we do that? Well, let's take the first one. When we select an Uruk, it shows an animation, it starts the battle. So we'll have to do it before the battle processing. So right here, we'll make a conditional branch, and we'll say if, let's find the one for Uruk. I named them appropriately so that it'd be easier to, to find when I'm looking for them. Come on, brain. I need you to kick into gear. Don't laugh at me. Okay, so we're going to check variable 201, which is the number of Uruks the party has captured. And we already know it's at least 1, because we've already done a thing for that. So if it is, wait, do we want to just set tiers? I have to figure out how I want to design it too. I don't want it so that, well, maybe, yeah, we want to give the player options, right? We want to give them tiers. So for, not like I'm crying tears, but T-I-E-R-S. Levels. So if you've captured one of them, you can fight this creature at level 5. So they're paying hackers to...
I doubt it.
I doubt that. Like, why would you waste your money? I think it's just our internet is being very bad. But the thing is, the weather's nice. It's beautiful outside, so I don't get it. I don't get it. I could also try to not use Restream and just go to YouTube instead of both. That's what I'll probably do. If this causes any more issues. Oh, anyway, continuing on. Set this into tiers. And how many though? How many do I want? Because the player will be able to keep capturing them. And then I need to cap it somewhere, like a level 100 creature. So for each one they capture, that would add a certain number of levels to it. I guess 4 levels would make sense. Because you capture one and you fight it at level 4. And then you capture 5 of them and it would be level 20. You capture... well, you know what we could do is set it to 5 levels per captured creature. And it would be 5, and then 15, 25, 35, 45 for every 2 that you captured. But it's not that hard to capture 2, and that seems like it raises it up quite a bit. Maybe 3. Let's use 3. So if the variable is 3 or greater, then we'll have to use an else branch. And I'd want to start with the highest number first so that it reads it correctly. So what is the highest number I'm going to let the creature be fought at? I don't expect every creature to be captured 100 times. How many times and how many creatures? I don't know, let's say 20 times. So that means it's 5 level bonus for each one that you would capture. But I also don't want it to be locked in, so if you capture 10, you have to fight it at level 50. You should give them the option to fight at a lower level. And how many options do we want in here? Maybe 10 options. The highest level is going to be... the highest level will be 100 for fighting the creature at the arena. Minimum level will be 5, and one capture per 5 levels, and then give the player 10 options. So if they've captured at least 2 of them, they can fight it at level 10. Yeah. So if they've captured 1, they'll fight it at level 5. If they've captured 2, then they'll fight it at 10 and so forth. So what I'll do is start with the highest, and we'll use an else branch, and we'll say, is this variable greater than or equal to 20? So if it's greater than or equal to 20, then we have to present the options to fight it at all the levels. This might be a long event, but I want to design something that's not complex, but fun and interesting and yeah. Yeah, I know what you meant, Vino. It's just, if you compare the two, the audio production, just to get set up is more expensive. It also depends, too. If you're making a visual novel or something like that, you can spend a lot on graphic. Pumping out enough resources. So, anyway, if it's greater than 20... then then we control the variable. Now we show choices at this point. Let's just set this branch up. If it's greater than or equal to 18. Else if it's greater than or equal to 16. 14. What are you guys listening to today? So if it's 1, you'll be presented with this choice. So the comment is only captured 1. Because if they've captured 0, even though I'm saying else with no condition, the option will not present itself unless they've captured 1. So that's 10 options for the player. Here they'll be presented with 10 options: 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 option, or no. Yeah, they'll be presented with an option, which one or the other. And this is no option. It's just you only have the 1 option, which means you don't get to pick anything. Okay, that makes sense. I'm trying to make this up in my head as I go along. I understand it could be confusing, because I'm not like trying to make a tutorial on it while I'm conceptualizing the idea. It's like designing a rough draft or something, looking at some rough blueprints. But I am reading chat and answering questions if you have any about the engine or anything in particular. Thank you for coming to the live stream. I apologize for any downtime that happens. It's out of my control. Alright, so the first, let's say they've captured 20 or more of this type of creature. Then how do we manipulate the level? Well, first of all, we have to show the choice. So I want to give the player an option. So we're going to show choices. But if we're going to actually show choices here, which was the idea, I also need to use a plugin command to show choices again, to put them back on the list. And then when you exit out of that, I have to do another plugin command to either hide them again based on another condition. So I don't like this setup. I don't like it. It's so convoluted already. Giving the player the option to pick the level. The level will be determined by however many you captured. So if you keep capturing them, they're going to be harder. I mean, that makes sense. It's not as in-depth as I was wanting, but it's going to be so convoluted, because I'm going to have a series of if conditions branched inside of nested else conditions, and it's going to look so, it's going to be huge for one. It's already going to be, like, this is one entry, all of this, and it's not even done yet. So this thing is going to get like way bigger. So I can't add more complexity. I'm already adding too much here. But I want this idea to work, so I'm going to go with it. Okay, wait, I have a better idea. If I'm just going to take the level of that variable, I don't need to even put conditions. I can get rid of the nested if, so I'm going to cut all this. I'm going to put this in the old one because I'm not using it anyway. I'll make a comment in here. This is not working right. Don't use. But here's temp placeholder for something else. Yada, yada, yada. And then I'll paste that whole thing in there. Paste it right up in there. Okay. Back to when the player is selecting the choice for Uruk. I have a better idea. This is going to make it easier. Before the battle processing, we're going to do a control a variable, and we're going to control the variable that we're using for the enemy levels, and we're going to set it to another variable's value, which will be the one specifically for this creature, the Uruk. And then we'll do the same. We'll control it again. So we'll control that mod, enemy level mod, and we're going to multiply it by a constant of 5. Right? So every new one you capture is going to raise the enemy's level by 5. Or is that too much? What about if we do 3? Because if we're going to do it this way, we can have more increments. Let's do it by 3. So the first one you capture, you're going to be fighting a level 3 creature. But if you capture 10 of them, then you're going to be fighting a level 30 creature. The party, by the time you get the arena, should be around level 20. So capturing 6, 7 creatures doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to do. And that would bring them up to par, and that would give you much more time. So I like that. We're going to go by 3. So for every creature you capture, we'll raise the level of the battle by 3. So if you want to make it harder and get better rewards, you raise it by 3. We also need to change the tokens. It's not going to be a set number anymore. We're going to award the tokens based on the level of the creature that we're fighting. So we're going to increase the party's arena tokens by the variable that is being used. Wait. By how many you've captured. I like that. So if you've captured, let's say you've captured 10 of these creatures, well then you'll be fighting the creature at level 30 and be awarded 10 tokens for it. And essentially we take this system and we just copy paste it, changing the variable that it's looking for. Instead of capture 6 here, it'll be the next one for all of them. So that's a simple way to do that, and I'm going to do that. So copy these two, and then right before the battle processing on the next one, we change this variable to be the sewer jelly. And the same multiplication happens, but we change this, we change this to be sewer jelly. Excuse me. And we just go through the rest of them and do that. So that's a simple method. Let's test it out once we get it set up. Sewer rat. Yeah, I like this idea. Sewer rat. Sorry for the silence, I'm just focusing here, trying to get this right. I don't want to overlook something here. We're about halfway done with this little part. A little over halfway. I also need to design things you would get with these tokens, because now you can't hire party members with them. So there needs to be some incentive and reward for getting them. And I definitely want to make it worth investing your time into the system. Obviously, you design something, you want people to be excited to use it. I didn't change the name of the watermelon worm? Okay, let me fix that real quick. I changed it to ice worm on the variables and on the other enemy, but not the arena enemy. Huh. Hey Android Gaming, how are you doing? Apparently I did though. It says ice worm right here for the arena. Let me also check the capture skill to make sure that I updated that. Do a Control F to find that skill. Because I'm specifically looking at the name of the enemy when I kill it. Ice bat, hybrid moth, ice worm. Oh, actually it's not. I'm looking at the ID. Enemy ID 38. So enemies. 38. Wait, that's the hybrid moth. Ice bat. 37 is the ice worm. Go back to the skills. Okay, this is ID 37, you've captured the ice worm. So the captured skill is updated. The enemies' names are updated, but why doesn't it show it on the common event? Let's look at that again. Processing. Oh, 215. That is a troop, not an enemy. Okay, so let's go to the troops. 215. Which just needs to be changed like that. I believe I've set that all up correctly. Now it looks right. Okay, let's continue, carry on. We're almost done with this part. Use this for the hybrid moth. I would like to add some more enemies into the game and into the arena, which I plan to do. Hey, Shadow Lord. What's up, K-Zaman? Geister. Now that seems like a much clearer solution than to present the player with a ton of options. Just be easier. But I do need to test it, so let's hit OK. Let's save the game. Let's, I guess we'll load the highest leveled save that I've got. Probably the one where I've got the ship and stuff. Because all of this should still be... This should be updated. So let's buy this token. We've already got it. Let's go here. We want to use it. Let's fight regular monsters. We've captured these things. Let's fight the ice bat. So it should be level 3. Level 7. Oh, because we have a variance. We're putting in a variant. Or maybe we've captured 2 and it's got a slight fluctuation. Yeah, because with the map enemy levels plugin, the variance does play. So we should pretty much kill this right away. Yeah. Because it's a low level. It's no longer looking... why did we get 3 tokens? Oh, the text hasn't been updated. Okay. Let me update the texts. So in the place where it says 3 for all of these texts, I need to actually change it to do a variable call. So instead of 3, we do /v, and then what I'll need to do, I'm going to put 1, but that's not it. I need to make a note of the variable number. Oh, it's actually showing it right there. 201. Let me just do this real quick. I'm going to press Windows key, Shift S, and I'm going to drag this over here, and it's going to let me make a little picture. And then inside Photoshop, I can just do File, New, OK, and press Control V. And now I have this, and I'm going to slide this to another window so I can see all my variables real quickly. Do I have a demo of this game yet? I have an old version of it up on the website, but I'm going to be re-releasing this game out shortly. I've said that for a couple weeks, but I keep adding to it, and I want to update this game every so many months, every 3 or 4 months, put out an update of content or something. Maybe 2, 3, 4 times a year, update this project. It's going to be a free project. I'm going to put it on itch, and also update my website so that you can get it there. And any other locations, I'll ask them to take it down, except maybe Yan Flies, I'll give him a link to the newest versions. Okay, let me cancel out of this, So now inside of the text, when I'm referencing a variable, this is for the URIX, so I'm going to say 201. So it's going to reference variable 201, so at the end it will award it'll say that I get the appropriate number instead of saying 3 every time. So for this next one, it is going to be, instead of 3, we do \V 202, and then go to the next one, 203. 204. 205. 206. I put them in numerical order, so this is a little bit easier than I was expecting, which is good. 207. 208. 209. 10 should be toxic shrooms. Let me. Yep. 211. Moving right along. 212. 213 should be fire bats, and we're on fire bats. Good, good. Goes piranhas. 215 ice worms. And that should be ice bat, and that's the most recent. Okay. The reason why I'm awarding an emblem for when they say none, or when they select this or select this, because it costs one of these to enter this common event. So if they cancel out without like consuming it, I need to like reward that item back or award that item back. Epic Mighty Ena Cloud, what did you miss? We devised a system and enhanced our arena system so that every time you capture a creature, you, well, we're using a new plugin from Yamfly, the map enemy levels. So the more creatures you capture of the same type will increase the strength of that creature when you battle it in the arena. So for every one you capture, it will go up in levels. It will go up in 3 levels. And then we did all the syntax to make it so that you get a token based on its level. A third of its level, so for every one you capture, you get an additional token. Let's test it out now, and after we win a fight, we'll take a look to see if, first of all, how many tokens do I have? Do I have any? I have the emblem, but no tokens, because I haven't done anything in this save file, as far as Monster Arena. So we'll fight regular bosses. If we say the Ice Worm, I don't know how many we've captured. We know we've captured at least 1, otherwise it wouldn't be here. So it appears that we've captured 3, because we couldn't get to 10 unless we've captured at least 3 of them. So it would be 3 times 3 is 9, with a variance of 1 to... I forgot how much it varies. I think it can go positive 1 to negative 2 variance. So even though we've captured 3 of them, it would be 9, but it could be 7, 8, 9, or 10. And so there's still some variance, but it's based on the number that we've captured. So if we go capture another ice worm, that's what I want to do, and I want to check to see if it goes up higher. So this should be pretty easy. Let's just do a TP gain, I suppose. And burn it. It should just die, yeah, because it's so low of a level. Okay, and now I'm going to go... Okay, we've been awarded 2 tokens. Hold on. So I'm going to select, check those variables. Ice worm, we've only captured 2, so it should have been level 6. That variable 2 times 3 is 6. I don't think I have a positive 4 in that plugin, so there might be some error somewhere. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Wait, no, because every time we're setting, we're using set, so we're resetting the variable number. I'm going to look at this real quick. Yeah, we're saying set it to the same number as that, and then multiply it by 3. So if we set it to 2 and then multiply it by 3, it's going to be 6. And then that variable, which we're checking right here, variable 40, would be 6. So do I have 4? I must have 4 variants, which shouldn't be that much. I didn't... Yep, we're using 40. Okay, so everything's been double checked here. Let's look at the plugin, the enemy levels plugin. Positive fluctuation 1, negative fluctuation 2. So there it is. Why is it giving me level 10 when it should be only giving me 4, 5, 6, or 7? That's the question. It's supposed to ignore the level setup, the default type. It would still use these formula to determine how strong it gets. Oh, wait, I think I know what might be happening. On the enemy itself, I may have added a note tag to vary the enemy's level. So this is the ice worm, but this is the regular one. The arena one, look at this. Positive level fluctuation 10. So I've made it, because of this note tag, it's causing a problem. It's making the level too high. So let's just scratch this, and it'll use default level fluctuation. I actually need to check. Yeah, it's on all of these. So let's go ahead and go like this. We found the bug. You can give your enemies specific, you can make the enemy the exact level you want it to be. You can specifically say it has a certain positive or negative fluctuation. You can combine all your note tags and really use the enemy level plugins in a lot of ways. But we've set it up through the common event to handle the level, so there should be no additional note tags needed. Let me just do this one more time and double check. So if we've captured 2 ice worms, it should only be level 5, 6, 7, or 8. Because 2 times 3 is 6. And the fluctuation, oh wait, so 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. 5 to 8 if we fight the ice worm. We already have the token. You're planning on making an arena too, Epic Mighty? That's cool. Should just burn them. Dead. Yep. I didn't even see the level, because I'm smart like that. Let's buy another. So that's why we got 2 tokens, because we've only captured 2 of them. And with this system, with the fluctuation of -1 to or -2 to +1, even if you captured 1 of them, they could be level 1 at the lowest. So 1, 2, 3, or 4 if you've captured 1. And if you've captured 2, it could be 2, it could be 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have like this whole range where you can get any level basically. But it's determined mainly on the number that you've captured, and secondly on a random variance of +1 to -2. So it's level 7. Okay, cool. Let's go. That seems right. Let's buy another token. Gosh. 100 coins. Let's capture. I should make a button to equip all the capture weapons. capture sword, capture katana. I didn't have a capture, one of those, capture gun. Okay, that's fine. And let's capture some creatures. I want to up the encounter rate on the world map, but at the same time I don't, because sometimes it's just... it feels grindy at times, but then it's sometimes it's like, it feels like you need... when you're looking for creatures... Wait, will this kill it? It missed it. Anyway. It might make sense to soften it up first. Let's do a Blade Rush. Oh no, I don't want to kill it. I didn't kill it, good thing. Boom. Okay, so we captured another ice worm. And we captured an ice bat. So let's make sure that it changed the variable, and it also is changing the level of enemy. Obviously we know it's going to, but you gotta test just to be sure. Okay, so let's fight a regular ice worm. Since we have 3 of them, or should have 3 now, it should be 9 with the negative fluctuation of negative, so it should be 7, 8, 9, or 10 at the most, and it's an 8. Also, we should test to see if we could capture the arena enemy, which we shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to capture the enemies inside the arena. So let's kill it with the capture skill, and where it would normally let us capture it, it shouldn't let us because the enemy ID is different. So here we go, capture. We killed it, we didn't capture it because it was in the arena. You have to capture it from the wild. I like it. And this time we got 3 tokens because we have captured 3 of them. So now I need to change the text a little bit so that the player is completely aware of how it's going to work. The more you capture, the stronger they get. Oop, there's a typo there. I forgot to do a slash on that one. Was that the ice bat? Okay. Let's fix the text real quick. Slash V, slash V, slash V, slash V, slash. We got the slashes. We slash in V's over here. There it is. Got to slash our V's. Don't forget to dot your I's, cross your T's, and slash your V's. Unless you're using it in the damage formula, in which case you don't need to slash it. Okay, so we're done with this little thing here. Minimize that. You're gonna put me as the grand champion in the arena of your game? Oh. As long as you don't give me some dumb dialogue. I have enough of my own dumb dialogue. Alright, so I mean the system is set up. It is how it is. Just let the player know how it works. So in the common event, welcome to the arena. In order to fight monsters here, you have to capture creatures from the world. Capturing a single monster will allow you to fight them here. Capturing more enemies will unlock harder monsters and increase the level of the monster, of the creature captured. Capturing more enemies will unlock harder monsters and increase the level of the creature captured. Is it weird that I say creatures and monsters interchangeably? I feel like if I don't, I say the same word too much. Capturing more enemies, so I use enemies here, because here's how it'll sound. Capturing more creatures will unlock harder creatures and increase the level of the creatures captured. Like, that makes sense. Let's try it with monsters. Capturing more monsters will unlock harder monsters and increase the level of the monsters captured. I mean, it sounds good. Capturing more enemies will unlock harder monsters and increase the level of the creature captured. It sounds like there's more variance. It's the little things. I don't know. You can use it anyway. Any way you want. Capturing more monsters will unlock harder creatures and increase the level of the enemies captured. So you can use all three of those, and probably other words, nouns, to describe, or to make the sentence work. So if I add a new creature and I want it to be a part of the arena, I just have to go in here and make choice number 18, basically, and add it to the ending of the third choice. So there's the first choice. Here's the second choice. Here's the third choice. And change the none on this one to be on the next one. So I would add a whole nother show choices. Because you can have 6 things on one show choice, but if you put them one after another, it creates a list using Anfly's plugin. And I've got 17 creatures, and then the last one is a none for a cancel. So add more creatures. I think we need to add more creatures now. Alright, new creatures. Let's go to enemies. So that means we create the creature, and then we create the arena version of it, which is a copy-paste of it pretty much. And then we would update the capture skill so that it knows to check for that ID. And then we update the common event so that it will show another show choices and move the none to the next one. Let's use this thing. I don't have anything that looks like that yet. 3-headed dog. We're going to call it a death dog. And this will be slightly harder because it will only be, we'll put this in an area that to get here you have to have already had the ship. So at this point we expect the party to be level 20 to 25, maybe 30. So let's look at the stats on the Ice Bat and the Hybrid Moth and juice them up a little bit. Let's take the Ice Worm stats here and juice it up a little bit. So let's say 2500 HP, and we'll say 200 MP. We can do 90 attack, 80 defense, 70 magic attack, and 60 magic defense, and 70 agility, and 75 luck. Actually, we can give it a little more magic defense. I do want to look at the Primal of Ice as well. So the stats are pretty high. The difference is the Death Dog will die quick. So let's go 80, 75, 65, 65, 60, 65. Drop it down a little bit. Get rid of the basic attack. Let's give it some skills. We can make new skills. You might want to do that. Oh, I did make some skills for a vampire class that isn't in the story yet. Let's use some of these vampire skills. Vampiric Aura. What was the other one? Slag Claw? I mean, they're not currently in use, so might as well use them. I made them. Slag Claw. Maybe, I do need to look at those skills though. Let me just press Control F, slag, and find previous. So what does it do? It's an attack that lowers agility or speed of one enemy, and then the Vampiric Aura adds the Aura state. Oh, it costs 20% of its max HP to use. I need to make a condition on this. Attacks absorb damage and gain HP equal to half the damage dealt. Immune to state 29. What is state 29? Doom. Okay. We can let it do that, but I need to make a special condition. So let's go to the enemies. It's just one giant stick, Shibeto. This does like moves like lump or roll or like crack. It does it does crack. It has like useless moves like float. Okay, so special condition for this. So, how do I make it so that if we put it, like, it'll only do it if it doesn't have that state? Like, if it doesn't already have Vampiric Aura on, it will use it. So, the way that it reads now, it says, if it has this state, then use this state. But that means it'll never use it in the first place. Oh, I have an idea. I know how to do this. So if it has Vampiric Aura, then use Slag Claw at a rating of 7. But then we'll have Slag Claw be 5 as well. But then we'll have, it'd be better if I just copy paste this. So it'll be right where it needs to be. But what we'll do is have Vampiric Aura also be here. So what's going to happen is it's going to have a 50-50 chance to do Slag Claw or Vampiric Aura. When it does Vampiric Aura, it will only do no, it actually needs to be 8. So if it's under the state of Vampiric Aura, it will only use Slag Claw and it won't do this again. So that's one way to do that. Very nice. I don't have to actually use the AI core to do that. Okay, let's look at the rewards that we're going for this over here. 220, let's give it 300. It's an arbitrary amount based on like the growth that's going through these guys here. Maybe 280. Okay, so he's got some simple moves. He's not too customized quite yet. Element rate, let's say that he is slightly weak to fire, so he takes 25% extra damage from fire. Oh wait, no, that's bad, because everything is weak to fire so far in this new area. So let's say that he's like strong to fire, so he takes 25% less damage from fire. And he takes 25% more damage from ice. And let's say water. But then less damage from wind. Just to give him some customization. And he'll take 50% extra damage from light, but he only takes half damage from dark elements. Anything else that should be... He takes less damage from nature damage, we can do that. And yeah, that's fine. Do we want this thing to be able to resist any states? I think just leaving that alone should be fine. Any special parameters with this guy? Let's check the requirements on Slag Claw and Vampiric Aura because he may not be able to use them. So Vampiric Aura costs 20 MP, Slag Claw costs 20 TP. So we need to make sure he can actually use Slag Claw. Because he's not going to have 20 TP, so he's not going to be able to make a move. So we need to give him something that just gives him a bunch of TP. So TP charge rate times he's got triple TP charge rate as well as a regen. TP regeneration plus 20. So he'll be able to use Slag Claw constantly. And having a super large amount of TP won't matter to this thing because he only has one move that uses 20 anyway, and it won't affect anything. I don't want to change the cost on the skill because I think I've already balanced the skills to be like... I plan to use that skill for something else. For now, that'll work. And he can attack, let's say he attacks with the darkness element as well as a physical element. So he hits with dark damage. And maybe he also has a blindness effect. So 25% of his attacks will cause blindness. There we go. Now he's a little more customized. We might want to change some things. We can give him more drops. We can scale him. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's give him some drops. Death Dog. He's going to be scaled down to 75% of his normal size. You can steal that item, which I think is a potion for now. Because the steel, what is it called? Yank Steel or Steel Snatch. plugin. And he has a custom attack animation, even though we've taken his basic attack away. We need to give him a custom skill. He needs another. We need to create a skill for him. We'll call it Death Horn. Let's make a skill called Death Horn. Let's find a good icon for it. That'll work. Death Horn. Deal darkness. Yeah, actually, what we can do is select HP damage and select darkness element. So we can go and reference that icon /icon 71 and say darkness, deal darkness damage, and deals darkness damage. We'll say like this: deals darkness damage with a 25% chance to inflict /IT, which is a state. We'll say a.atk times 10 plus a.mat times 4 minus b.def times 2 can critical and add state. What do we want it to do? It's called Death Horn. Doom. The creature won't survive long enough to take advantage of Doom. It would be pointless, really. Let's just say knockout. There is a 20% chance of death. 20% chance of inflicting death. It hits hard, and it has a chance to inflict death. So we'll make this a physical attack. We'll make it a physical pony. We'll give it its own animation. We'll say uses. So let's make an animation. What we can do is what we've been doing for a lot of these things. Tapping into previously made resources that I've already spent a lot of time and effort on. We'll take that one, copy this, take this data and put it down right here. Make sure that we have all these sound effects by just going into here, and if it goes to the top, it shows that you're missing it. If it goes to where it's at, then you know it's there. We have /3. Of course we have Thunder 2 and 3. Alright. And we'll call this Death Horn. Yeah. Okay. Now that we have that, let's assign this to the enemy. Wherever it's at. Death Horn. And it will have the same chance to happen as Slagclaw, Vampiric Aura. And actually what we should do is make Slagclaw be 4 here. That way at the beginning it has a chance to, the same chance as Deathhorn as Vampiric Aura, but a slight chance of Slagclaw, because once it does use Vampiric Aura, it's going to be just Slagclawing. Or what we could do is, actually let's keep this 5 for now, an idea. And we'll copy this little idea once it's under the state effect of Vampiric Aura, it can not only Slag Claw, but Death Horn, but at a lower chance. So it will use 3 moves, but it will only use Vampiric Aura when it's not under the effects of Vampiric Aura. It would be better if I do 9 and 8, just to make sure that it doesn't spam Vampiric Aura at all. So if it doesn't have Vampiric Aura, then it won't meet the requirements for these 2 things. And it'll just read these as 5s. So it'll pick one of these at random. And when it does get Vampiric Aura, it'll no longer use Vampiric Aura while it's under the effects of it. So it should be a pretty nasty beast. We need to create some items for it. You know, a lot of these things I don't actually use for anything in particular. Like, I wanted to make all of these items have a use and a crafting recipe, but I haven't yet. I mean, they're just kind of like sellable items at this point. Let's have it, give it a rare chance to drop a blinding enchantment. And maybe a glyph of aggression, so it's got some enchantment drops. So we'll say 1 out of 100, it will drop a blinding enchantment. Blinding strike enchantment, 1 out of 100. We can say 1 out of 100, it will also drop a darkness enchantment. Darkness enchant. Well, we can say 1 out of 50. And then maybe something more common. 1 out of 5, it'll drop a repel. So these are good to farm for repels. And we could add more to it later, but I think we need to just call it good enough for now. Let's add it as a troop. So here we will go and add the Death Dog, which is right here. Add the Death Dog. And then I guess just because we can, let's put 2 Death Dogs here. And then I want to go to the Arena one, which would be down here. We need to copy the Death Dog. And if we make any changes to it now, we also have to change the Arena version. This is the Arena version, so we paste it here. And then it stays the same pretty much, but it has a different ID. It's 188, and this is ID 53. So what we'll do is go to the skill Capture. Go to the top, pressing Control F, type in Capture, find Next, and then inside the note tag, the note box, I'm going to be doing copy paste of the last conditional statement. So if it's if the target's hit points are equal to less than 0 and the ID is whatever number we say, then do this thing. So hit enter and paste it here. So we're going to replace the ID. So if the enemy ID is, what was it, 58 or 55? Let me apply this real quick and come back. Enemy 53. Neither. Okay. So if the ID is 53. So if we've killed the creature at the end of our attack with the capture skill, then do what? We're going to use a new variable. Are we using 218 yet for something? I hope not, because we're going to be using... I'm going to hit apply. We have to change this. Go to common events real quick and just go like this to look at some variables. So I'm going to say, I don't understand why I put the number of capture yet. Like, I'm sure it was like some organization to help me remember something. I think it had to do with the Hemi works. Which, it's confusing because the player sees these variables. So do I need these reference numbers? What were they for? Okay, I don't actually need to do anything. I just wanted to see if I can use 218. Hey, Skepsis. Which I can. So go back to skills. On the capture, if we're kill the enemy and it's that ID, we're going to create a temporary variable and set it to the value of whatever we have in that variable. Then we're going to add to that temporary variable, and then we're going to set the actual game variable to be the new value of 1 added to its previous value, effectively just adding 1 to that variable, but that's how you do it in a script call. And then we're going to add a message at the end of the skill saying that you've captured, to notify the player that it worked, you've captured a death dog. And now the capture skill will work. So that part is done. Created the new skills for the animations for the enemy, created a new enemy, set it as the troops, then we've updated the capture skill. What's the next thing? We have to update the common event so that when we're in the arena, it'll let us select it as an option. So we'll have to do quite a bit of change right here because we're adding a whole nother show choice at the end. So it's basically right here. We have to change it up. So I do a show choice here, and this one will say none. So we're going to show so default none, but the cancel is choice 1. So this presents us with another show choice, so we have to change things up. So we're going to add a plugin command at the end to show choice 18 after this is all over. And we have to hide choice 18 up here at the top. So we make another conditional at the top that says if, except this time we take death dogs, is less than 1, then we're going to hide choice 18. So now when we're presented with that death dog choice, which we haven't actually put in, so we go here, where it says none, we put in the death dog, cancel branch, default 1. Let me see what the last show choice is. I don't remember if it was specific. Default 1, cancel branch. Default 1, cancel branch. And then at the end, it will have the default 1, but with the cancel 1. So right here, we have the cancel 1. See, the others are branch, so it'll read whichever one is. It keeps wanting to give you 2 choices, but you don't have to do a show choice with 2 choices. You can do a show choice with 1 choice. Yeah, I always thought that was like a flex, like some muscle or something, or like be strong or something. A be strong emoji. Anyway, we have to, when the player selects the death dog, we need to input some stuff here. actually need this one? No, this is for when you would none out. So we cut this, put this here. And then we change, this is when they say death dog. So we're looking for that variable. Yada yada. We change it to be the arena version. Okay, so we're going to set this to 218. Can't escape, can't lose, but if you win, you've been awarded variable 218 amount of tokens, and we select this to be variable 218. Okay, updated that. If you escape or lose, nothing happens, but you do lose your token if you get into the battle and you don't win. Or even if you win, if you start the battle, then you lose your token. If you cancel out of the menu before the battle starts, then you're re-awarded a token. Emoji is in the eye of the beholder, that's right. You can see what you want to see. I think that's good. And now it'll be easier to expand upon it, because if I want to add more, I go to this show choice and I change it from none to say the next thing and none, and then the next two things and none, and it's pretty simple. You copy paste like this whole section and you paste that underneath it. And of course you change the variables and whatnot. Okay, so that looks like it's good. We've disallowed the choice 18 if you don't have that variable. We've turned it back on at the end of this event. But I want to look at this old thing to try to remember why I used a specific naming convention that I did in on the variables. Like what? Why did I do them? Oh, I know why now. Because the variable name is referenced to the enemy's ID number. So for example, Ice Bat is capture 39 because its ID is 39. So Death Dog's ID would be 53. And I thought I would need that information for some reason, but I really don't. I thought it would just be better to have it there. But in hindsight, I'm probably going to change the names of those variables. I mean, you normally wouldn't it wouldn't matter because the player wouldn't need to see that thing, wouldn't need to see the variables. But because I'm allowing the players to see the value of those variables, because I want them to know, with using a plugin, Yanfly's status core, I want the player to be able to know how many they've captured of each enemy. So, yeah, why don't I just do that? Why don't I just go in here, go to variables. I feel like I'm undoing work, but I'm just cleaning up a mess. I don't ever reference these in any way, so I don't need to know the ID necessarily. So I'm going to say captured Uruk. Because, I mean, the name is confusing, right? Because you're looking at a number. The player doesn't need to know the ID of the enemy. Pure and simple. not quite done yet, because I need to put this enemy somewhere on the map. And once again, changing the name of your variables in the context of RPG Maker won't matter, because it's looking at the reference ID number, not the actual name. It's just for your own naming convention is what it's really for. Alright, so where do we put the Death Dog? Let's go to the world map and zoom out a bit. So this whole area up here, oh, the Death Dog deserves to be on this island, doesn't it? Okay, let's go to region. First of all, let's go to map properties here. So the entire map, these guys are, you can fight these things, you fight the coast piranhas on this area. Ice bats are only on that number. Let's make let's make it so that you can't encounter the wildebeest on the entire map. Let's make a number that's not used. 31. Let's go with I don't know if I'm using others, so I'll just keep adding up to that point. So let's go with 41. We'll go with 40, and we'll say that wildebeests only spawn on 40, and they'll have a higher weight, I suppose, when they're in region 40. So we'll find a place to put region 40. We'll put region 40 inside of any forest area. We could also include some other creatures that will spawn on region 40. I mean, bandits and everything can spawn, but the weight of 40 probably just make it so that it most likely would be that. Wildebeests. The main reason I'm doing this is I don't want wildebeest to encounter the party when they're sailing on the ocean. So I'm just making it so that they can't. Bandits, I can see how bandits would attack you on the ocean. Like pirates can't attack you on the ocean. But like a forest creature attacking your ship when you're sailing around is just kind of so weird that I don't think it fits very well. Kind of remove that out. Actually, I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, why not? Throw them on all the forests. And death dogs will spawn down here. So we can paint this one region 39. Not on the ocean though, just on the land. Wait, that's an ocean tile. All right. We won't let the wildebeest spawn on this frozen continent. We'll say it's too cold. Alright. Also, this is the coastal area, so the coastal piranha spawn around here. So we can finish our painting of the coast lines. I figure now is an appropriate time since the player finally has access to a ship in the story. Riveting, I know. The island kind of looks like an octopus. Huh. A little bit, huh? suppose I can make some creatures for the deep sea, like when you're out in the ocean, and just kind of like do the fill tool to paint the entire ocean a bluish colored region, and then make creatures that you'd expect to fight out on the ocean. There needs to be more creatures in the game for sure. There's about like 40, I think. I want to make some complicated bosses that play around with cycling states. Okay, that works. We got a couple more small islands to do this too, and then move on to the next thing. This is gonna give me carpal tunnel. Alright, I think we're done with that. Okay, good. Good. Hey Anthony Browning, how you doing? Let's zoom out just a hair and look at the world map. Alright, we still have to set up the properties so that the death dog spawns on region 40. Does it show the numbers if I zoom in enough? Well, yeah, it does. Okay. Oh, region 39. It's a good thing I zoomed in, huh? Let's go here, edit this, and set a new thing. Oh wait, did I remember to make the troop event for the death dog arena version? No, I did not. Okay. So for the battle arena version of the troop, the death dog troop. There we go. And this will be death dog arena. Almost forgot that. That's 218, but then the regular one is going to be 88 and 89. So on the world map, when we edit it, we're going to add a couple of entries. We're going to go to 88 and 89, and the weight will be 50. Specifically for region 39. Copy this, paste this, change this so that it's 89. So when you're on region 39, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to encounter a death dog or 2 death dogs. I could make an encounter, it would be very easy and cheesy, to make it so that if you wanted to fight like 4 of them, you have to walk over this poisonous area. But that's fine, I don't want to do that. I don't want to incentivize the player to walk over poison. Oh, good morning, afternoon, whenever you awaken. You've had a horrible sleep schedule lately? Yeah, try to pick up a routine or something that you do every day or almost every day that happens relatively around the time you want to wake up. Maybe like if you want to wake up at like 9 or 10, then schedule something for 11 or 12, like a little daily ritual that you would do, like painting figurines or like whatever hobbies you're into, working on your project. Try to spend like, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes or an hour doing this thing at this time of day, every day, and then a schedule might help you stay on, like having something to do at that time might help you with your sleep schedule. Make a life dog that heals itself every turn. It has a high speed. Everyone loves that. Oh, yeah. Right? Everybody loves enemies that are just high regeneration and healing constantly. Especially ones that can like resurrect dead enemies. Those are fun. Fun for the whole family. I do need to increase the encounter rate on the world map. It's gonna go up a bit. 50. I mean that's pretty good so far. Until I make more enemies. I kind of want to jump around a little bit. Let's take a catalog of what we actually did. We created a new enemy, the Death Dog. Made new skills, animations. Skills, animations. And updated the, what was it? The capture skill to allow death dogs to be captured. Did I already mention that I added a new plugin back? Visual state effects. Okay, I didn't say that we added it, so I need to say added Ganfly's in map enemy levels plugin and incorporated it into the arena system. Now every enemy you capture increases the level by 3 for that type of creature. Updated a few dialogues. What else did we do? Mapped out regions on the world map to fix forest creatures that attack over the ocean. That we're attacking. Also added a region for the new Death Dog. What else did we do? Gosh dang it. Almost choked on a waffle. Don't do that. probably answer this all the time. Are you planning on updating this on your website, or are you selling it? I'm going to update it on the website, but it's going to be available for free on itch.io. Yeah, this is the free project. The Steam project is pushed back. It's still going to happen. It's just like it needs a lot. It needs so much, and I have to make all that stuff for Natural Explorers myself. And it's sometimes real easy just to go on the forums and use other people's assets, and I don't know. It's that same curse of like every time you make something, you think, oh, I could do that better now. You look at it like a month later or 5 months later, and you're like, oh, I could do that better now. But you've already got the work put in, and there's so much work to get done. You have to just kind of accept it, and at least put it out in waves. And it's good to, if you get burnt out with your project, I don't recommend you jump from project to project to project, because then nothing gets done. But if you have 2 projects that you're working on back and forth, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you get burnt out on one project, you can work on another project. Typically, it's better to work on one until you're done with it, to be fair. But I mean, if you work on one project mainly at months at a time, then you're still kind of working on one project back and forth. You're not like messing with both of them at the same time. And that's what I've been doing. I worked on Natural Explorers for like half a year, and then for the past few months I've been working on Legend of Driftwood. And then when I push this big content update, which is going to happen soon, I'm going to put it on itch. I'm going to update the website, update the Anflies link, update wherever else I know it's the other 1.2, 1.3 version is out. I mean, I could simply just remove the Google file where it's linking to, so that would break it. But update it where it needs to be updated, put it on itch, and then I'll go back to Natural Explorers for a while, and then back and forth or so. Before I die, I would like to finish Natural Explorers. So yeah. What else did I do? Did I do anything else here? Yeah, I know what you mean, Dr. Bio. That's why I spend months at a time on one project, back and forth. Added new skills, animation, enemies, regioned, updated the arena. Let's go fight the Death Dogs. We need to balance it. We need to balance the Death Dogs. I sort of just arbitrarily set the stats to where I think they might be. I'm going to hit this button, the equal sign, to automatically equip the best gear that I can find. At this point in the story, if you go back to the castle, you'll see the ending credits, I believe, which we should test, because that's like where we've got to. I went the long way, didn't I? Yep. I think this is the short way. Here's the Death Dog. So we should be fighting the Death Dog over here. I want to make a map for this to be like a hermit or something. I don't know yet, really. Wow, so many steps. And that's with it being reduced. Okay, so I like the battle backgrounds. Deathhorn. Just killed him. Deathhorn. I should probably bring the bard back to life. So I know that they're weak to water and ice, but not by a lot, just by a little bit. Gosh, even double effect. Puts Arcturus in a state that will double all recovery magic casts on him. Oh, that's a good one. Let's do Enmity. He needs to, like, provoke them. Slag Claw. Nice. Nice. I made an action sequence for that, I guess. Deathhorn. 20% chance to kill is pretty vicious. Vampiric Aura. There it is. So it took HP away from it, but it made it so that its hits will steal life. This one does, you see it took damage. And it shouldn't, we need to check, it shouldn't use Vampiric Aura at all while it has Vampiric Aura on it. Just to make sure. Is that one bleeding? That one's bleeding, let's finish it. Die. Deathhorn. Dead. Okay. Also need to make sure that Vampiric Aura is healing, otherwise it's so not good. Let's use some MP on this guy. Bam! Oh, they're strong against fire, so we slice. And then we'll use Payon. Deathhorn, does it heal? It did heal it. Okay, good. Not by a ton, but it did give it a little bit. So, I mean, that's good. They're significantly hard, but not unbeatable. Especially by the time you get the ship, you should be able to take them out. And you can farm repels off of them. So they're definitely worth farming because repels are great. You don't get into, and you can just skip combat. So it's not a 100%. Just a weight of 50. I should pay attention to how much experience I'm getting from things at this level. I may have to change a curve. Bandits? Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. I did want fast growth. I don't want to change up too much. I may just change up how much you need to gain at higher levels. Huh. Why is this showing as green? This field, this little area is showing as like green fields. I don't think that matches the color really. No, that's not right. Let's take a look at that. Let's increase the party's speed. I mean, yeah, they're pretty easy. The Death Claw gives them that little, like, they can still kill you. Otherwise, they're not going to, right? Or the Death Horn. Anyway, let's capture one. Captured a Death Dog. Sweet. The thing is, well, before I forget, the thing is, even though they'll be like level 3 if you capture one of them, even 2 to 4, 2 to 6, 2 to 5, it could be, they can still Death Warn you for 20% chance to instantly kill you at a super low level. It's funny. Those will return, Dr. Vile. I've been focusing on this because I've wanted to get this done for a year now. Like what I've been doing with this project, I've wanted to do it for like over a year now. And I'm finally at the point like where I've kicked myself, you know, pushed myself enough to finally put the time and effort and work into finishing the next part where I wanted it to be. It's closer, it's still not quite what I wanted it to be originally back 3 years ago, but it's much closer to what I wanted it to be. And I'm getting, I'm really happy about that. So once I mean, you have to do what you like doing. And playing first impression after first impression after first impression, if you're just doing that, you're not going to have fun doing it. Ask anybody who does first impressions, and they'll tell you. It'll wear you down. It will wear you out. So you have to take a break from things from time to time, and find things that you love doing. And if you love what you're doing, people will like watching it. And I mean, not all the time, but you have a much better chance of capturing an audience if you're really enjoying what you're doing. I don't know. How does that look? Oops. Yeah, there we go. Kind of didn't want it to be like green hills, because there's enough of that in the world. So this is like the barren wasteland type of area, island. So let's make sure the regions are still working and lined up. Yeah, they still look good. Okay. So I'm going to just battle on this and make sure that the battle background is kind of less colorful, right? Not green. The fallout region, exactly. So on the dead trees and that other top part area, it's already the way I want. But this one, okay, much better. You cannot capture bandits to fight them in the arena, unfortunately. They're just, you kill them, that's all. You kill them. Let's double check in the forest, the Dead Woods forest encounters, battle background. There should be mutated animals and ghouls. Yeah, I need to add more enemies, it's a good idea. Also, I guess this should be part of the storyline at some point. But right now, I'm tossing enemies around the world little by little. This whole time, the bard's skills are getting stronger and stronger because the variables go up when you use them, and yeah, you keep using them in combat, they get stronger. They're checking the variables in the formula, and they also go up when you use them. When you first, I didn't mean to guard with him. When you first get Dark Hero, the Bard, his healer's payon only gives like 100 to everybody, but it's already at the point to where it's restoring 500 to everybody. Like, he quickly becomes extremely strong. And the full Requiem does like no damage at the beginning, but if you keep using it, it starts to do damage. I'm also leveling up because I haven't got to see these skills in use. I lowered the level requirement on the skills to more accommodate to the level that I think the party would be by the time they finish the storyline. So if I keep adding more storyline, I might stretch the skills out a little bit longer, but most likely I won't. I'll just add new ones. Oops, should have did the other one. You know, Vampiric Aura doesn't quite work on them. It just helps the party more than they need to because they lose 20% of their life using it. And it takes the turn. Maybe I should reduce that. Let me fix that, because I feel like it should be like, oh shoot, they did it. Now, instead of like, oh good, they used that this turn. Because look, he does how much damage? He only gains 600. I mean, it does get HP back, but I think overall they're losing HP by casting it. So I'll reduce it so that it only takes 5% X attack. So really, that doesn't do very much. The X attack needs to add more hits if it's going to be worth using, because his other skills do so much more damage. So buff X attack, which is, I haven't had a chance to really balance these skills because I haven't gotten to a save file where they're actually in use. So X attack needs to be like, adds 3 attacks. Delayer blade. So buff Vampiric Aura and X attack. Let's do that real quick. I'm going to go to the top and press Control F. Vampiric. Vampire Strike. Oh, I could just give it Vampire Strike instead of Vampiric Aura. Let's just swap it. If the target is less than... is less than 0, or is greater than 0. No, it's less than 0. The variable's value of 70, add to 70. Wait, what is all this? If it's an actor... This has got blue magic on it? No, I'm not going to award this one. Where did I put that one in there? Must have been for like a tips and tricks or something. think I got that from Yanfly or something. Anyway, let's do what I was going to originally do. Vampiric. Didn't realize I had more. Find next. Vampiric Aura. Cost 5% of your HP. Attacks will deal absorb damage and gain HP equal to 50% of the damage dealt, and you're immune to Doom. Cost 20 MP to cost and 5% of your HP to cost. Instead of 20%. There we go. Because it just takes too much HP to use. Slag Claw is pretty good. The Deathhorn hits pretty hard. I think it needs like a flat bonus though, plus 100. It would make more sense if I put this at the top though. 100 plus those numbers. Same thing with the Slag Claw. Let's do 100 plus that number. Alrighty. And X attack, wherever I put that one. Here it is, X attack. It's going to add the state. Cost 50 MP to do it. And the state is on number 102. Let's go to state number 102. And change it from attack times and go from +1 to +3. So it's going to go... You're going to get 4 hits to make it worth using. Buffed X attack and Vampiric Aura skills. Further balancing. Alright, I think that's where we're going to maybe add X hits to attack based on his speed. That's a pretty good idea. Could they kill themselves with Vampiric Aura? Yeah, they could. I think so. Which is another reason why it's a little bit too strong. Once they have it on, they won't use it though, because of the way that it's set up. So if they have Vampiric Aura on, then they won't use it until it wears off again. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's live stream. We made a lot of progress with the game. We had one moment where the stream cut out. It seems like every time that happens, a lot of users drop lower numbers because of the connection, and it's frustrating. But it's out of my control, so there's nothing I can do about it. So there's no use crying over spilt milk, right? Those of you who stick around, thank you so much for watching the channel. I really appreciate all of you guys. If you would like to speak with me further after the live stream, I am always on Discord. Links in the description below if you'd like to support what I do monetarily. I have a Patreon account, and you're free to check that out and throw money at me. I really appreciate that too. You guys are amazing. Remember to stay amazing. Stay awesome. If you have any questions or suggestions, you know where to find me. I'm always available. And thank you for coming to the live stream. Give it a like if you like it. And subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more content like it. See you guys tomorrow, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daytime. Have a good one. Brazilian watching you? Hey. Hello from New York, Oxymoron. Thank you for coming. Anthony Browning, Epic Mightyina Cloud, Oxymaru, Skepsis D, of course, T. Hi, baby.
Don't forget me.
Zaradek. Even a low-level death dog can instantly kill you. Yep, of course. DVD, thank you for coming. Dr. Vile, always a pleasure. Everybody else who's earlier up in the chat. Tom, the comic book guy, and everybody else, thank you so much for coming. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.